Tuesday, May 24. In the headlines, Prime Minister Andrew Holness urges continued talks on public sector workers' wages. Authorities investigating zoo incident. Regionally, Prime Minister Motley named one of Time magazine's most influential people for 2022. And in sports, West Indies bowling coach says the team will miss Shimron Hetmeyer. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Gabrielle Thompson. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging Jamaicans to remain united. He wants the workforce to continue negotiations with the government surrounding working conditions and wages. He made the remarks during his Labor Day message to the nation.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government is committed to preserving the rights of Jamaican workers. He says this includes proper wages and working conditions.
The government is actively pursuing ways to increase workers' benefits. For example, we are examining the feasibility of implementing unemployment insurance in Jamaica to assist workers who become unemployed through no fault of their own. This would temporarily provide workers with partial income relief while they search for new employment. Additionally, unemployment insurance support would facilitate the acquisition of new skills to increase and improve their employability.
He says the country is still recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic, but it's headed in the right direction despite challenges.
Economy and the resilience of our labor force. However, this recovery is still a work in progress. The impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic and now the war in Ukraine have unleashed the greatest wave of global inflation seen in over 40 years. Import prices of fuel and food are rising in all countries around the world at the same time. While we all know that this inflation has causes outside of Jamaica, it still does not make it easy for the average household to absorb.
Mr. Holness notes the changes in the economy following a long fiscal adjustment, which he says was secured by the sacrifices of workers. He explains that it has impacted the salaries of public sector workers.
In addition, there are many instances where the structure of the public sector compensation is unfair and inequitable. This is so in central government as well as in public bodies. The inequities in the structure of public sector compensation are not new and did not arise overnight. Decades of tinkering with compensation systems without solving fundamental issues are contributing factors. However, this government, your government, has decided to take on this decades-old problem because we care about our workers, and we recognize that the current structure is untenable.
He says this is why there is a need for a compensation review in the public sector. The Prime Minister says he is confident that the review will be successful.
The restructuring exercise is designed to remove inequities, make compensation simpler and more transparent, while ensuring that Jamaica's finances remain sustainable. We recognize that it will not be an easy process. There is pent-up anger, mistrust from broken promises, and contentious issues to grapple with. However, rest assured, your government is listening.
The Prime Minister is urging workers to continue their discussions while utilizing the systems in place to resolve their disputes and ensure a stable economy. Raquel Robinson reporting for the news on PBCJ.
In his Labor Day message on Monday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness encouraged the Jamaicans to go out and get involved in a project to enhance and clean up their environment.
The freedom to be out and about this Labor Day means we can mobilize to a greater degree within our communities and across the country. As we action this year's Labor Day theme, Reigniting a Nation for Greatness, protect our heritage and environment, which calls on us to make Jamaica crisp and clean.
Opposition leader Mark Golding, in his message, says Jamaicans need to get back to practicing the old adage, cleanliness is next to godliness.
We can do better than that. Each one of us has personal responsibility. We shouldn't leave it to others or to the government. That mindset only keeps us back from achieving our national goals. We must take personal responsibility for our surroundings, not only on Labor Day, but every day. Jamaica is a beautiful country, among the most beautiful places on this earth. Let us take pride in our surroundings and be agents of a positive change towards restoring the natural beauty of our country.
He reflected on the origin of the holiday, noting the country's long-standing focus on the rights of the labor force going back to the days of colonialism and Jamaica's struggle for independence.
From those events of 1938, the labor movement has been at the vanguard of the struggle of the Jamaican people for a fair and just society in which the rights of all Jamaicans are respected and all our people are treated with dignity, embodying the principle articulated by the late great Dennis Brown when he sang, "Every man has an equal right to live and be free, no matter what color, class, or race he may be." It was the Right Excellent Norman Washington Manley who, as Premier of Jamaica, forging the will of the nation to move to political independence in 1961, proclaimed the National Labor Day as a national holiday to replace the colonial Empire Day.
He says the recognition of struggle and lives lost in the fight for workers' rights is shown through the actions of Jamaicans on Labor Day, working on displaying solidarity and brotherhood. Plans are being made to relocate the Nelson Mandela Park located in Halfway Tree. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made this assertion during the National Labor Day activities, which focused on the cleanup of the current park.
The park is named in honor of one of the greatest human beings to have ever lived, certainly in my own opinion, my own personal hero, Nelson Mandela. As it is now, the park is not reflective of the dignity of someone like Nelson Mandela. So we're going to do some temporary improvements and repairs, but it won't be substantial.
He noted that the current location needs to be reconfigured to better serve Jamaicans.
The truth is that we have to be thinking about how we reconfigure this urban space of Halfway Tree. Certainly for the improvement of traffic, the efficiency of movement for pedestrians, and to improve accessibility of business places, and to improve the streetscape, and just to improve the general urban space.
He noted that the park needs a more spacious venue that can have all the features of a proper park and be a more fitting tribute to the late South African President Nelson Mandela.
The park where it is not necessarily in the best location. And in the reconfiguration, we may have to think about a relocation of the park.
This year's Labor Day was recognized under the theme Reigniting a Nation of Greatness, Protecting Our Heritage and Environment. Our team was out and about capturing some of the activities, and we take a look at Spanish Town and Portmore.
We're in the Riversdale community, and we are working on the Natural Bridge, which is one of the only bridge in Jamaica, one of its kind in Jamaica, and I think the Caribbean at large.
The historical fact behind the bridge, it was naturally formed by geographical weathering, a geographical process over the years. And we don't have a monument like this in the island of Jamaica, which was naturally formed.
See around us we have the cadets, we have JDF working with us, we have parish council workers here, and few laborers are here helping to paint the bridge, the natural bridge. It's 150 steps down, but it's beautiful at the bottom. And so we're trying to upgrade, clean up all the areas here.
A part of our mandate is to assist the community. And so here it gives us an opportunity to assist the parish of St. Catherine in just beautifying, as the Prime Minister had indicated, with the mandate for this Labor Day 2022.
The idea of Labor Day, of course, is about bringing communal spirits together, the effort of community participation. What is happening here, of course, is a collaboration. The Member of Parliament, Mr. Robert Miller, we, of course, partnered and would have contributed various resources to all the projects across Southeast St. Catherine.
It shows that good civic pride is not dead in Jamaica, and it shows that if we should collaborate, like myself and Mr. Edwards, we are from separate political parties, but we are joining today for one cause. One parish council, one team, one dream, one Portmore. Yeah, one Waterford.
We want to move the look that it has now and to bring that ambience to the Waterford police station. Today we see the citizens coming out, and which is a partnership, will be a continuous partnership. Because what we want to do within the Waterford Police District is moving people from an ascribed status to an achieved status.
I came here some months ago and saw the condition of the building and decided that it needed painting.
This is going to be an ongoing project, especially when it comes to the health center. We are going to schedule a Saturday where we're going to come and do the interior. Today we are going to concentrate on the exterior. We're going to finish the exterior today, but it's going to be an ongoing project, this health center.
The Lions Club of Portmore is a service-oriented club, and as part of our service project, the Portmore Daycare and Preschool is one of our signature projects. And so today we have decided to work from home in giving our project at our daycare a lift.
Persons passing will see us because we have brighter colors, and they will realize that yes, we are here to serve the community.
The authorities are investigating a viral video which showed a worker being bitten by a lion at Jamaica Zoo attractions in St. Elizabeth. The Chief Veterinary Officer at the Veterinary Services Division of the Agriculture Ministry says the division is concerned and a team has been sent to the zoo to examine the animal's health, welfare, and whether the conditions of the environmental permit issued by the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, are being adhered to. He says a report on the matter will be prepared. In a news release on Sunday, Jamaica Zoo said the workers' actions were not in keeping with its safety procedures and policies. We hear more about the financial agreement between the government of Jamaica and the European Union and the regular market updates from Danita Rodney in the Business Report.
On Friday, representatives from the government of Jamaica met with members of the European Union to sign a financial agreement. During the ceremony, Financial Minister Dr. Nigel Clark spoke of the relationship between Jamaica and the EU.
Today, we take the opportunity to recognize what has been an incredible partnership between Jamaica and the European Union. Many times, the nature of this partnership is not obvious to the public. The depth of our cooperation and the strength of the assistance that is often provided is many times not visible. And we, in the 60th year of our independence, believe it is critically important to recognize the partnerships that have been crucial to Jamaica's development. The European Union has been and is the largest provider of budgetary grant support to the government of Jamaica.
Minister Clark goes on to explain how the grant support offered by the EU is different from a loan.
Now, grant support is a fundamentally different thing from loan financing. Grant support consists of financial resources in the form of millions of euros that the European Union essentially gives to Jamaica on the understanding that they'll be used to implement particular programs. Today, we are highlighting one of the more recent grants, and it's a grant of 16.695 million euros from the European Union to the government of Jamaica, a grant that is focused on climate change issues and forestry management issues.
Dr. Clark says the grant has had significant impact on Jamaica's environmental development.
This grant has been critical in advancing policies and programs in very important areas of Jamaica's environmental development. As we know, as a small island situated in the Caribbean Sea, protecting and managing our environment is critically important for our sustainable development. The achievements of this grant and the policies that it has supported include the fact that we have improved the legislative and policy framework around forestry management. We have been able to improve our watershed management. We've been able to finalize the boundaries of the cockpit country, among other policy achievements and initiatives.
Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Friday, May 20, the US dollar sold for an average of $155.28. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $121.47. The pound sterling traded for $193.53, and the euro sold for an average of $166.60. The following reflects the movement of the JSE indices in Friday's trading session. The JSE index declined by 707 points to close at over 300,000 units. The junior market index declined by 3 points to close at over 4,000 units. The combined market index declined by 695 points to close at over 400,000 units. And the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by 1,581 points to close at over 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 109 stocks, of which 45 advanced, 49 declined, and 15 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, 1834 Investments Limited, and Barita Investments Limited. Stocks declined for AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, Blue Power Group Limited, and Cargo Handlers Limited. Trading firm were Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited, Community and Workers of Jamaica CCU Deferred Share, and Epley Limited 7.75% preference shares. The following companies represent the overall volume leaders: Wigton Wind Farm Limited Ordinary Shares, QWI Investments Limited, and Jetcon Corporation Limited with over 1 million units. In regional stocks in Trinidad and Tobago, Clico Investment Fund was the sole security with over 4,000 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, 0 securities were traded. In market data for oil prices hedged higher this morning, recovering earlier losses as tight global supply and an expected pickup in demand during the U.S. summer driving season balanced concerns over a possible recession and China's COVID-19 curbs. Brent crude rose 18 cents or 0.2% to $113.60 a barrel, and West Texas Intermediate crude added 11 cents or 0.1% to $110.40 a barrel. And that was the Weekend Business Report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
Regionally, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, has been named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people of 2022. The complete list, which also includes the likes of Oprah Winfrey, was revealed on Monday. Sharika Griffith reports.
The Times 100 list is separated into 6 categories: artists, innovators, titans, leaders, icons, and pioneers. Prime Minister Mia Amour Mottley's profile stands out from the 22 other world leaders who made the list, which includes Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, Russia's President Vladimir Putin, and the first black woman to sit on the U.S. Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson. In an accompanying article written by Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Prime Minister Mottley is described as bold, fearless, possessing a great intellect and wit, and a brilliant politician who knows how to shake things up.
The choice of my public life has been to be a lawyer, an advocate, as well as to be a representative of the people. And I say representative as opposed to politician, because I believe that I'm here to represent the interests and the voices. And there's so many who are voiceless, and there's so many who are incapable of action. But if those of us who have the capacity can make that difference in their lives, then the world will be a better place.
Prime Minister Motley has made international headlines many times due to her strong advocacy on the global stage on issues such as poverty, debt, and climate change, a fact also alluded to in the article.
We have these conversations internationally and in meetings about adaptation as if time is not a problem sometimes. We're at 1.2 already, and look at what 1.2 is doing for us. You only have to look at our coasts and you see the difference. When we were kids, you'd walk on the beach and you'd have to dodge the cobblers. Cobblers are black sea urchins. You don't see that anymore. I can also carry you to a village in the north called Six Men's. There were people who used to live on the coastal side of the road. For the most part, now most of those houses have gone because it's just too unsafe. We have a saying in Barbados, one blow is kill old cow, which is simply to say one blow at a time, one step at a time. Ordinary people will be who make the needles move, because regrettably too many politicians and leaders are simply not moving fast enough.
This is leadership. This is what leadership looks like.
Ordinary people is going to give us mass movement. Ordinary people is going to give us passion. Ordinary people is going to cause leaders to sit up and say, hey, we've got to respond to this.
Prime Minister Motley is the second Barbadian to make the Times list. National heroine, the Right Excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty, has been featured in 2012 and 2018. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Guyana has become the latest Caribbean community country to go on an alert for the monkeypox virus, urging all medical personnel to immediately report severe skin rashes accompanied by other symptoms. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Nareen Singh, in a public health advisory issued to all regional health officers, said that an acute skin rash may present with lesions or blisters. It may also be accompanied by headache, fever, myalgia, back pain, weakness, and swollen lymph nodes. Trinidad and Tobago last Friday urged people who have traveled to countries where the monkeypox virus has been detected and are symptomatic to visit their nearest health provider. Monkeypox is a rare disease that is caused by infection with monkeypox virus that belongs to the orthopox virus genus in the family Poxviridae. The orthopox virus genus also includes variola virus, which causes smallpox, vaccinia virus used in the smallpox vaccine, and cowpox virus. The World Health Organization, WHO, reported that there were 92 cases of monkeypox confirmed in non-endemic countries, that is, areas where the virus is not consistently present. In news from St. Lucia, a leaked letter from the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association to the Culture and Creative Industries Minister reveals that the association does not favor the 2022 carnival being opened to unvaccinated revelers. The letter follows an announcement last week indicating the ministry had changed its position on having a vaccinated-only carnival bubble.
A leaked letter from the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association to the line minister, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, reveals that the body of physicians is not in favor of this move. In the letter signed by the SLMDA president, Dr. Merle Clark, it was indicated that the unvaxxed carnival plan would, quote, undoubtedly sound the death knell for the exceedingly sluggish COVID-19 vaccination campaign, end quote. The unvaxxed carnival plans was incidentally announced a day after the SLMDA president had reiterated calls for citizens to get vaccinated.
There must be a huge measure of personal responsibility at this point. Now, a large cross-section of St. Lucian society seems to be very willing to play Russian roulette with their lives. A large cross-section seems to believe in let Darwinism take its course and survival of the fittest. We, as a Medical and Dental Association, have done our part, we believe, in educating the general public, in educating the importance of vaccines.
In its letter, the SLMDA strongly recommended that the decision to allow unvaxxed participants be reconsidered and that vaccination be a requirement for all attendees of carnival events.
In Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is urging trade unions threatening to shut down the country not to overreact. The unions are unhappy with a recent 2% wage offer for public servants. But Prime Minister Rowley says the 2% increase would cost the government over $1.5 billion up front.
A 4% increase would translate to $1.8 billion in back pay and a running cost of $588 million going forward.
And if you hear anybody talking about 10 and 15%, right? At 10%, we'll be talking about a back pay of $4.5 billion and an increased running cost of $1.1 billion. Now, you put that against the recent report of a slight increase in the revenues for the Minister of Finance against the background of the huge debt that we had run up for COVID and pre-COVID. Put them all together, and then you come to a conclusion as to whether shutting down the country or not is the appropriate response to these circumstances.
The Parliament recently approved a $3 billion increase to the budget generated from higher energy prices. But the Prime Minister notes this is not bound to last.
Time now for sporting news. Reigning world champion Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will contest the 100 meters at the Paris Diamond League meet on June 18. Fraser-Pryce will line up alongside recently crowned world indoor 60-meter champion Mushinga Kambunji of Switzerland, Marie-José Talou of the Ivory Coast, and Dutch woman Daphne Schippers. Fraser-Pryce clocked a world-leading 10.67 seconds at the Cape Keno Classic on May 7 in Kenya. The 35-year-old veteran sprinter pulled out of last year's meet staging, citing fatigue. Bowling coach Roddy Estwick believes the West Indies will miss middle-order batsman Shimron Hetmyer during their upcoming tour of the Netherlands and Pakistan. Still, he hopes the player will make himself available for future tours. The West Indies will take on the Netherlands in 3 one-day internationals on May 31st, June 2nd and 4th. The team will then travel to Pakistan for 3 more one-dayers on June 8th, 10th and 12th. The Guyanese is expected to play for the Gujarat Titans today, May 24th, in the first IPL qualifier. Speaking at a media conference late last week, Estwick said the West Indies would miss his talents.
Someone like Hetmyer is not playing, obviously going to miss his talent. He's having an outstanding season for Rajasthan Royals. He's doing very, very well. He's playing well. He will be missed, but at the end of the day, he's not there. He's asked not to be selected for this tour, so we have to get on without him. We will hope that he will make himself available for future tours.
Estwick expects the West Indies to win the 3 ODI series against the Netherlands despite that.
If you're going to represent the West Indies, you should always be thinking about winning. Our expectation is to win all 3 of the ODIs, but it's not going to be easy. Remember, a lot of the players would not have played in conditions like the ones that we will encounter in the Netherlands, but it's how quickly we adjust to the conditions, how quickly we adapt. We've only got a couple of days practice before we go into the first ODI, so it's all about adjusting, getting used to the conditions, and then executing your game plans as spot on as possible.
On Monday, Deandra Dottin's Supernovas were 49-run winners over Hayley Matthews' Trailblazers in the opening match of the Women's T20 Challenge in Pune, India. The Supernovas batted first, scoring 163 in their 20 overs, with Dottin contributing 32 from 17 at the top of the order before she was run out. Matthews bagged 3 for 29 in that innings. The Trailblazers replied with 114 for 9, with Matthews scoring 18. And that's the news on PBC Jamaica. Remember to follow us on all social media pages at PBC Jamaica. Thank you for watching.